Hello, this is Scotty O with Ecstatic Hearts Tantra. I'm here bringing to you another Tantra talk. And today we're going to be talking about what the heck are the Kama Sutra, Kundalini, and Chakras. These are words that are kind of bandied about, and people know probably that they might be related to Tantra, or at least I've heard of them, but most people don't really know what they are. And so I'm going to share a little bit about what my view of them are and how they relate to Tantra. So first of all, let's take the Kama Sutra. The Kama Sutra is probably the most famous book. It's the first book really about sexuality, the art of love. That was created in ancient India, written in Sanskrit. It was actually a compilation of various authors that were compiling everything they knew about the art of love. So it's a very interesting book, but it's a bit dated. Like some of the stuff that's in there is 36 different arts that you're supposed to master, as well as the art of love. And they include things from like cockfighting to creating artificial flowers to knowing how to find gems in a cave. So a variety of esoteric skills, if you will. To make you one balanced person. They also had things in there such as all about prostitution, how to find a wife, how to seduce other people's wives, how to keep your wife from falling into the royal harem, or being absconded by the harem. They had other things like what women should be allowed to learn. A lot of things that aren't really relevant in today's world. But it's interesting. So if you want to add some color and background and texture to to history, to Tantra, it's an interesting read. The biggest thing that it's usually associated with is positions. The reason for this is that it's basically been translated by Americans of West into basically positions. And so most of the Tantra text, most of the text in the book has been kind of eliminated, and so we're left with all these crazy positions. So while they are useful from a perspective of creativity, inspiration, most of them are not very easy to do. So reading the Kama Sutra isn't really going to teach you Tantra, by the way. There are some good things about it. I'll get to it in a second. But as far as the positions go, most of them you can't even do. You have to be really like an experienced yogi and be able to pretzel yourself in all sorts of various positions, because most of them are just downright challenging. And for me, they get in the way and distract me from actually the act of making love. I'm actually trying to do these crazy things. But they could be, kind of novel. I actually learn a lot more from watching my friends than I do any book. Okay, so what are the benefits of this? So the Tantra, the Kama Sutra is a tantric book. One of the cool things it does bring up is it's one of the first books that talked about how tantric, or how sex and lovemaking can be a spiritual experience versus just a physically gratifying one. It talks about how we want to slow it down. It's not about getting to the end result. It's about enjoying the ride, or the activities as we go. It talks about the importance of creating space, of creating a romantic environment, which is really useful. And it's sorry, I was reading something. It also shows you how to do things like foreplay, biting, scratching, fellatio. It talks about all sorts of different activities that you can do to kind of get your partner warmed up. Bathing, grooming, a lot of classic things there. So, it's worth a read. But as far as learning how to do tantric yoga, and for us, Tantra really the core of it is breathing, movement, sound, visualization that allow you to take your energy and move it up your body and be able to use this energy to connect more with other people and with the universe at large. And the Kama Sutra doesn't really deal with any of that. So, so it's not really, in my opinion, the Kama Sutra is not really going to teach you how to become a Tantra master. Okay, so let's talk about Kundalini. Let's talk about this energy. What is Kundalini? Kundalini is basically life force energy. It's a Sanskrit word that means creative life energy that's found at the base of the spine, the coccyx. It's near the root of our bodies, and this can be thought of in a lot of different ways. It's the same terms for it are prana, chi, life force. Science looks at it as atoms and bioelectric field, or just electricity. It's a little different than electricity we power our devices on. The Star Wars calls it the Force. It's basically it's all this is the same thing. There's definitely energy, and science has proven this. They can measure and photograph and see and interpret. Actually, interpretation is the hard part, but they can actually see that we have energy fields. This is not, it's not just mysticism anymore. In fact, modern science, especially metaphysics, is starting to prove what the Eastern mystics have known and the Tantrics have known for thousands of years, that our thoughts create reality, that our consciousness actually has an impact on the physical reality around us. So energy is real. And what Tantra is the practice, or at least one aspect of Tantra that we focus on, is taking your energy and moving up your spine and opening up your chakras. So what are chakras? Okay, chakras are basically energy portals in your body. You can look at it as, so it means wheel, and you can think of it as this is areas of the body where our energy is kind of turning and moving. And, I got to tell you, when I first heard about chakras, and there's 7 of them in your body that we primarily deal with, I thought that was all hooey. I was going, are you kidding me? I've got a college degree, I got an MBA, for goodness sakes. I did not ever encounter this in biology or physics or, medicine or anything. It's like, when I first heard about it, I thought it was a complete scam, really. I thought it was crazy. And believe it or not, even after I learned Tantra and I learned some of these techniques to be like a better lover, which is why I came into this path, I still didn't believe it for like 10 years. And it wasn't until I had a Kundalini Awakening, which we'll get into in a minute, in fact, a series of awakenings for me, when I started actually experience these feelings in my body. I started having benefits related to this practice when I really started believing that there's something more to all this, And so, and science, it still has yet to come up with and explain things like the spirit or love or, a host of other things. And so I just, I go with, just like once you do these practices, you don't have to believe them, actually. You just try them and see what happens, see what the results are. And then once you experience it for yourself, once you feel it, just like love, then you'll know it's real. But until you do, it's hard to understand. Okay, so what happens when you move these chakras? So there's 7 of them that we deal with in our system. And it's the root, which is like, again, the perineum. For guys, it's the prostate. And this is your like security. This is like your connection to the earth. It helps you, feel safe. So, by having a strong root, you're like grounded. Then your second one is your sacral, and this is like your sexual area. And in your sexual area, this is your creativity. It's your life force. It's your where you're generating a lot of sexy energy. And your third one is your solar plexus. So this is where your power center is. This is how you manifest and create things. And what's interesting, by the way, is most people, even most spiritual systems, kind of have a separation between the lower chakras and the upper chakras. And one of the things we're doing is we're integrating these things. So the fourth chakra is the heart. This is love and emotions and connection. Then your throat is your 6th one, and that's your self-expression and your ability to really speak your truth. The 6th one is your 3rd eye, which is basically your ability to see the greater picture of things, look beyond illusion or limiting stories. You can also think of it as being more intuitive or even psychic. And then the 7th one is your crown chakra. It's the top of your head. This is what helps you connect to the divine or source energy. It enables you to become more connected to infinite consciousness or the greater world around you, God, whatever it is you believe that is. Hey, Lana. So what we're doing here is we're moving the energy up our spine. So we're integrating our powerful creative force and our visionary heart-based self. You know, some people, you might know some people, I know a lot of people that are like good in some areas or good in the other. Like they're really out there manifesting and creating stuff and running the world, but they don't have long-term vision and they aren't coming from their heart. Or you've got people that mean well and are loving and connected and beautiful, wonderful people, that they're having trouble creating results in the world. So one of the things by integrating these things is you're aligning your consciousness and your subconsciousness to manifest what you really are out here to do, what you're really creating in the universe, what your purpose, your calling is for. And then you get all sorts of other benefits by moving energy through all these chakras. You know, you're more in touch with your power. You are able to manifest and create your dreams more. You're able to feel and love more deeply and more connectedly than you ever thought possible. You're able to really be self-expressed and wild and crazy and not worry what other people think. You're able to really read people's minds. You know, it's like we're all psychic, and this seems really woo-woo too, but like in one of our classes, we do Path to Ecstasy. Next one's in January. We actually show you that you're psychic, and we have crazy, like I think we had 60% of the class have greater than 90% accuracy, 80-90% accuracy of just reading random stuff from strangers. It's like, and then almost everyone in the class had more than 50% accuracy with this exercise. So it's like we really are connected to something greater than ourselves, and Tantra gives you a visceral, embodied experience of it, so you know that it's real. It's not just intellectual. Okay, and then it's going to help you, just be better in so many areas of life. I mean, it improves your physical health. You know, it enables you, when you start moving and be able to play with energy, you're able to like use it not only to heal your body, to heal other people, like laying of hands, Qigong, Reiki, all this stuff is comes from the foundation of Tantra. And it's also about, healing your emotional body. Like, you know, emotions and energy go hand in hand. So a lot of what's happening too is you're clearing out old patterns that don't work. You're healing trauma. You're getting rid of fear and guilt and shame and things that don't serve you anymore. And so it's a cleansing process, and it helps you become more spiritually connected. You know, one of the things I love about it is that when you really start getting good at energy and you can start feeling it, you can start moving it, you can start playing with it, you can then use it to like connect with other people. You can actually start feeling other people's energies. You can start using this energy to be more connected to the earth and the sky and, you know, the greater universe. You not just intellectually know we're all connected, because we're all energy and science proves that, but you're able to start feeling your connection with the universe. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so then what happens, another thing I should warn you about, is that if you do this in a safe practice, and by the way, we teach practices carried on for a long time through our teachers that are proven to be safe, in a way to open this up in an amazing, beautiful way. But what happens is sooner or later, when you practice this stuff, you'll have a Kundalini Awakening. For most people, they never get in touch with their energy, and they never feel it. They never know it's there, or they just subconsciously play with it. But if you can. And then when you start consciously moving it up and raising it and starting to get in touch with your energy, though, with time, or some people do it spontaneously on their own, you'll have a Kundalini Awakening. And what this is it's like a rush of energy moving through your body. It is usually has like quivering or shaking or, you know, spontaneous movement associated with it. There's usually emotions that come up out of nowhere. You're going, why am I feeling this? There often are visions. You actually have, you know, like visions. And a lot of other crazy phenomena, a lot of sensations, a lot of, maybe it'll be warm or cold, or, and it's a pretty trippy experience. It's like, you know, what the heck is going on? And for people that don't know about it, for people that aren't prepared for it, it can be scary as all get out, you know? It also shifts your perceptions of reality. Like your definition and perception of who you are as an ego self gets kind of jumbled, and like, because you're basically waking up. You're seeing what is truly there, and that most of what we think of as ourselves is just ego conversations. They're just stories. They aren't really real. And so you start, I don't know, for lack of a better word, awakening. You start seeing a broader picture, but it's disorienting at first. And again, for some people, it can be really kind of crazy. In fact, Western medicine, even though this is a spiritual practice that actually people strive to more in the East than the tantric traditions and yoga traditions, in the West is considered you're crazy. It's like they'll think that you're psychotic. In fact, if you do this in a way that's not safe, sometimes people do this, sometimes key life events will happen, recreational drugs, or just being in a high energy state when you aren't really knowing what you're doing, don't know how to ground and move the energy back down into your body or down to the ground. You can have something called Kundalini Psychosis, and this is where you can literally go crazy. And it's kind of, you can think of it as there's so much energy moving to your brain that it doesn't know how to handle it. It short circuits while it's transitioning into dealing with this higher frequency. And literally you go a little crazy for a while. And, again, if you do this in a tantric tradition, that's not going to happen. At least I don't know anyone that's happened to if you do it in a safe way. But if you don't know how to do it, one of the things is if you've left your body and you're having this euphoric state, what I've seen is that people don't want to come back. They're like, oh, I love it out here. It's the best I've ever felt. So they're like, yeah. All this energy's up here. But you got to come back to your body. You got to put the energy back there. You can always go back there, but if you gotta get back into this physical body. If you're up here too long and too much, then it can create problems because your brain isn't used to moving that much energy. Over time, you train it, you build neural pathways like neuroplasticity in your brain so you can handle more energy, more pleasure, more stimulation than what you're used to. Okay, so just come back, leave your body, and know that it's okay. And so I've had friends actually that weren't practicing with us that went into this state, and they were put in a mental hospital for like a month or so. And the good news is that even if this happens, you can come back. Hey, Angela, and it will you'll come back to sanity, and you'll have a better connection to the universe than you had before. So even the people that I know that had this experience, it was traumatic. Being put in a mental institution is even more traumatic. But everyone I know that's done this is thankful that it's happened because they feel more open, connected, and loving as a result. And you don't have to do it that way. So if you want to have, if you do it in a knowledgeable, safe process, it can be one of the most beautiful, powerful, orgasmic, intense, and amazing experiences of your life. And for many, once you have that, then you know that your energy is real. You have an experience of your body being more than just yourself, being more than just the body. You can actually, sometimes you'll leave your body. You can have spiritual experiences, and it's pretty profound. And from there, that's when, for me, my Tantra practice really started. And I had a variety of a series of Kundalini Awakenings, if you will, each one kind of taking me to another knowledge or knowing something more than I knew before. And I continue to get my belief system, what I think is real, shattered on a regular basis because I keep having these crazy experiences that blow open what I think I know it is to be human. Anyway, the point is that your energy is real. If you practice this stuff, you can use it to open up your chakras, and if chakras are a little bit still too woo-woo for you, you can just think of it as a pattern or a map, if you will, a guide, just a focus for your thoughts and intention. Because just like if your hand, this is science, by the way, if you think about your hand and you mote your hand, blood is moving to your hand while this is happening. And then the energy that corresponds to your blood is moving there too. So, you can just sit there and you can do a little exercise, just focus on your hand, and then pick it up after a few minutes, and it's gonna be heavier and more lethargic or tingly than it was before, because that's how the body works. And the same thing, so as you're moving your attention and awareness with breath and all these other little techniques that are powerful, even though simple, you're able to start really feeling and moving this energy up your body. And again, it has amazing effects. It's just by harmonizing all these chakras, you're gonna feel better. You're gonna, both physically and emotionally and spiritually. Okay, and then there's the Kundalini Awakening. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's something to look forward to, and I would recommend doing it in a structure where people know about that and know what that is and how to deal with it. And Kama Sutra can be fun, but it's not really going to teach you how to do the core of Tantra, in my opinion. So hopefully this has been helpful. If you want to learn more about Tantra, check out ecstatichearts.com, and we would love to show you how to do this stuff It's life-altering, it's amazing, and it can be a lot of fun. So that's it. I'm Scotty O. Bye-bye.